The past few women's races have come down to, the past two races in the USA Crits Championship Speed Week have come down to field sprints. I'll be curious if the same were to hold true tonight. Looks like our riders have slowed to a crawl on the backside of the course. Everybody's trying to figure out who's going to make that move to strike out and win. All right, so we've got two riders trying to get a little bit of a separation here, maybe three, with 4 laps of to go, guys. 4 to go, and now we've got 3 riders with a 4th and a 5th trying to bridge, or otherwise known as trying to make their way from the peloton, which is the chasing group, to the leaders, which is called our breakaway. But in this scenario, it's not really, it's just a couple riders that have got themselves a second or two. Certainly not dangerous by any stretch of the imagination. 30 seconds, now that's dangerous. Again, our Category 2-3 race is coming up here in just a little bit. Our live stream will probably be kicking in right around 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock or so. Good to see Connor Benson from Les Amis out of Rock Hill. Our youngest rider in the men's peloton. All right, guys, 3 to go. From what I understand, the Vanderkitten team is going to be having a women's pro reception on the last turn at the end of the race, of the women's race, so that's pretty cool. And there's a pro women's reception tonight at the final corner after our race, according to the ladies from Vanderkitten. There's going to be a firefight here as our Category 4 riders. That's rider number 107, 07, Mark Henley from Miss Rose's first rider across the line. That is a fast lap right there. All right, we are going to have a mad scramble here. I think we're going to have one lap left to go, guys, and it's going to be a wrestling match to see who's going to pull off the win here. As our men's 4-5 races definitely looks like it's going to come down to a bunch gallop. Guys, you got one to go, one to go, one to go. One to go, one to go, one to go. Our next race coming up is going to be our Category 2-3 race. That'll be a great precursor to our final races of the night. We've got our kids race, I think, is going to be after our Category 2-3 race, so that'll be exciting. I love to see the kids here come and playing. Great testament to the great family and their relationship to bicycling and cycling and bike racing here in the beautiful city of Walterboro. And don't forget, you can go to usacrits.com and follow along with our live stream. And this is going to be for our win today. And here they come across the finish line. Your winner today, it's going to be rider number 420. That's Jeff Moore. No relationship to Chris Moore, I would accept. Or Ann. No relationship, I don't think. So that's a great race by Jeff. He would look like he was pretty aggressive throughout the whole race, trying to find little moves that would go up the road, but Jeff was wise to the moves and had enough energy to finish off the field as they were sprinting for the last 150 meters. We've got our 2-3 race coming up here in just a little bit, and then after that we've got our kids race. Presented to you by our good friends at Griffin Jewelers, 689 Bells Highway. All right, we are just about ready to start our Category 2-3 race here in beautiful Walterboro. I want to thank the Coastal Electric Cooperative Incorporated. All right, Category 2-3s to the line. Category 2-3s to the line, please. We're about ready to get you guys started. We've got a special guest coming up here in just a few moments. We're going to have a little chat, talk about bike racing, and then we're going to have our kids race. Gentlemen, you're going to be racing for 30 minutes. Free laps expired, 5 to go. SRAM neutral support. Good buddies at SRAM are behind you and to the right. Do not go backwards on the race course. Other than that, have fun and make sure you thank the great town of Walterboro for letting us come play bike racing. 30 minutes. Riders out of contention may be pulled, blah, 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 blah. Timers, are you ready? Lead Moto, are you ready? We're going to be going on Judy's whistle. There they go. There goes our next race.
We're just being. It'd be backing up. Whole time.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as our 2-3s come whipping by at lightning speed, we've got a special guest here. She's from Georgia, but more importantly, she's winning the USA Crit Speed Week. Her name is Tina Pick, and Tina, welcome to Walterboro.
Well, thank you.
So this is not your first rodeo here in Walterboro. How many times can you remember how many times you've raced here?
No, but a lot. Maybe 10.
Maybe all of them.
Maybe. No, I missed a few in the middle.
In the middle? Well, they missed you, and I missed you. All right, so how many times have you won the national championship?
6.
6 times you've won the national championship in the Criterium. And have you ever won this race?
Yes.
Ooh, what year?
I don't know.
But you won it, though.
Yes.
All right, so you're bringing a super strong. You brought in Aaron Silliman, so you got another national champion on your team. You got great support system in your riders and team management. So what's the strategy? I asked Christy Keeley what their strategy is. What's your strategy? Because she didn't give me anything. So maybe you guys will give me something.
No.
Nothing. Crickets. All right, so you're not going to give me anything. Do you like grits?
Oh, I love grits.
What about palmetto bugs?
No.
What about lizards?
Yeah, I like them.
Okay, so you like...
Not to eat them. Not to eat them.
Well, I didn't ask you if you like to eat them. I just asked you if you liked them or not.
Oh, no.
What about like Komodo lizards, like the big ones?
If they're far away.
All right, so Tina, let's talk real deal. What's it going to take for you guys to win tonight?
Oh, I think we got to make sure we cover a lot of stuff, be aggressive, be there. It's typical crit racing. It's just fast, fun, and this is a long finishing straight, so and tight corners, so in good position.
Breakaway or field sprint?
Field sprint.
Why do you feel that?
I don't think I've ever seen it end in a breakaway.
Do you remember? No, there has not been a women's breakaway. Not that I can speak. So, as our last time, Bettina, and maybe a couple more, we are going to be actually tweeting a picture of you and I doing our interview here, and we're calling it In Your Grill. So Fearless Femme will probably be retweeting that, I would suspect.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, Tina, good luck, and have fun. And again, enjoy your stay here in Walterboro.
Thank you.
There you have it. Multi-time national champion and, of course, Fearless Femme racer and your current overall leader in the USA Crit Speed Week. That's Tina Pick. All right, we're going to do 12 laps to go, and there is an attack by rider number 364. A very strong move by Kellen Goodell. So hashtag Walterboro Crit and at USA Crits, and you can see the picture of Tina and I interviewing each other, and or me interviewing her or whatever. We would like to get as many of our overall leaders as possible up here. So if you guys are around, that would be awesome. And we're going to have 11 laps left to go. Oh. And there's your leader right now, and the gap is starting to climb up just a tiny bit. Two riders are trying to bridge across. And here comes your peloton as they come through. All right, you ready?
Is that?
All right, so I've got another special guest here. Mr. Ray from Hincapie Devo, who is currently 3rd overall in the USA Crits Speed Week series and probably one of the most aggressive riders. Alex, welcome to Walterboro.
Thank you. It's good to be back. It was my first race last year, doing Speed Week and doing Walterboro, so looking forward to it.
And, you know, the team is pretty supportive of you. You're racing super strong, of course, over the past few weeks. What's the team goal to get you in the... Would you rather... Let me rephrase that. Would you rather win a race or get 3rd in the overall?
I'd rather win a race.
And is tonight?
I hope so.
Field sprint, breakaway.
Whatever happens.
Just as long as you get the win.
Exactly.
Do you like grits?
Somewhat.
Do you like Australians?
They're all right.
No, they're not. You Kiwis know better than that. If I said Australian, you guys go, ugh. Nah, they're all right. They're okay. But Kiwis are much better, right?
I guess I'm pretty neutral.
Neutral. Okay, so what about Yanks? What about Americans? We're pretty good people, right?
Yeah, America's the greatest.
See, there you go. You're learning, Alex Ray. You're learning. All right, so what's it like? Hincapie Devo has become this rock star team this year, and after last year's success in Tour of Utah, what is the main thing that you think in one sentence that makes the team so strong?
I think that what makes us so strong is that we're all fairly young, we're all really ambitious, and we're working with a great support team, guys that have raced professional before, Craven and George. Just everyone knows what they're doing, and everyone's willing to sacrifice themselves for each other.
Couldn't have said it any better to yourself. So if everybody's around here and they're cheering for you, what do you want them to call you? Alex Ray, A Ray, Alexander Ray? If they're screaming at you, what do you want them to be screaming?
I guess A Ray works pretty well. It's easy to sort of get out. Yeah, get out.
It's much easier for me. I mean, when you're in a breakaway, I don't have to say Alexander Ray. I can say A Ray. So thanks for stopping by.
You're welcome.
And good luck.
Cheers.
And that was painless, wasn't it?
Somewhat.
There's A Ray. Good luck, buddy. All right, so what's going on here? We got a bike race going on. These guys have got 9 laps left to go here. So Team Novo Nordisk is now bridged across. AngVT is also there. We have got a shift in the front right now. 2 riders are going clear. And Team Novo Nordisk, a team that was founded many, many years ago by Phil Sutherland and, of course, Joe Eldridge. And Joe's here racing. I think he's racing here tonight. So anyway, that team is solely based on riders that have diabetes. Pretty slick, so... Again, this is the 2014 USA Crits Championship Series. We've got our men's category 2-3 race going on now pretty soon. And our Speed Week, as Meg so eloquently brings up, Oh, yeah, the excitement is starting to build here as our women and men's pro field are starting to circle around like sharks with chum in the water. As our elite men and elite women, the guys have got 6 laps left to go in our 2-3 race, and we have 2 riders that have slipped clear. Yeah. It'd be great to get Frank Travieso up here, and we'll get Dan Holloway over here in just a little bit. I did talk to your current overall leader.
This is
6 to go, guys. 6 to go.
67, 69, 70.
All right, so right now in your break, you got Willie Patton. So Willie's in the break. Willie's been following along with the series, and you've got Jeff Miner from Bike Law.
69, 70.
Big Ring Racing's Brock Mason. So those are your 3 riders are in the break with 5 laps left to go. Or no, 5 when they come back around. And again, we want to thank you guys for showing up. We've got a live feed that's going to be happening here in just a little bit for our women's and our men's pro race. We actually have I think we might have the feed all the way up for those of you who may be watching. Welcome to Walterboro. We do have the low feed up. Hey, so welcome for those of you who are watching us from parts unknown on the World Wide Web. Thanks for joining us here on a spectacular night. We did have some rain showers, so there they are with 5 laps left to go. Willie Payton, Jeff Miner, and Brock Mason got themselves a pretty solid gap here in our men's elite race. This is our men's elite race. 2-3 race. Guys, you've got 3 up the road with 5 to go. 3 up the road with 5 laps left to go. Once again, if you want to follow along with our live feed, just go to usacrits.com and then click on the live stream button. All right, these leaders are going to see 4 laps left to go when we come through the finish line. And this is our elite category 2-3 race. Guys, you have 4 laps left to go. And there is your leaders. Got about 15 seconds. Gap is actually going up just a little bit here. Gap is right around 17 seconds now. Guys, it's about 17 seconds to 3. Group of 3 riders up the road with 4 laps left to go. And don't forget, we've got our kids race coming up here very shortly. Again, we want to thank our great friends from Heritage Trust, Bank of Walterboro, Carlton Medical Center, Palmetto Rural Cooperative. "19 seconds with 3 to go. 19 seconds with 3 to go. Wow. We've got 2 riders now trying to bridge across. That's a sharp move right there. Now this thing's splitting up with 3 to go. Novo Nordisk, that's rider number 356. And that is going to be Austin McQuarrie trying to do what we call bridge across there. And our women's pro field, just as a reminder, we do have a kids race coming up next. I know you guys are itching to get out there. The women will be racing just after our men's after our men's category 2-3 race, and actually just after our All right, gentlemen, you've got 2 laps to go with 2 riders trying to come across to you. And somebody's going to peek around and say, "What? I thought we had a 19-second gap." Well, we have these 2 guys just stealing away with 2 laps left to go through the finish line first. That's Landers. Landers is now trying to bridge across along with another rider. If those guys get across, that's going to be 5 riders with about 5 laps left to go. With about 1.5 laps left to go. Our leaders will see the final lap bell here coming up in just a few moments as those, and there they go across the .9 course, the 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 5 seconds to 2. So this is going to make this rather exciting. Leaders have got 5 seconds on 2. If they get across, that's 5 riders that are going to be duking it out for the win here.
These guys are dropped.
And here comes your pace moto. You should see our 3 leaders, and that's going to be Brock Mason, Jeff Miner, and Willie Payton. And they need to be working really hard here because 2 riders are going to try to come across to that. Guys, you've got 1 lap to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. 1 lap left to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. In our men's 2-3 race, guys, you've got 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. Also making it across, that's Tristan Cowie. Mock Orange Bicycles. Gentlemen, you have 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. 1 lap left to go here. Do those guys get across? And here's the only way they're probably going to make a junction is if those 3 riders start playing games with each other. And that forces the slowdown, and a motivated group of 2 riders can then get across to them, and then they have 5 riders to sort this thing out. And the great thing about the Walterboro course is that we could take a look back behind if you're facing the finish line. Behind you, you can see the race unfolding in both directions, both on the front stretch and the back stretch. There goes your lead moto. Now let's see if these guys are now 5. Looks like they sat up just a little bit. Well, I saw the peloton. I must have missed a break, and here they come, and it looks like they have attacked each other. So a big win right now as these 3 riders have maintained, and that's Big Ring Racing. It's rider number 367, Brock Mason, followed by Willie Payton and then Jeff Miner. This guy's really accelerated on that last lap, and these guys are going to be battling out for 4th and 5th, respectively, and then the field is going to become chasing on. And that, my friends, was a super energetic race right there. Goodness gracious. Wow. Don't forget, ladies, the course is closed for our kids race. Just as soon as I get clearance from our officials, we're going to bring the kids on. I know they're down there. All right, let's go ahead and bring the youngsters on. Let these guys fire up the race course here. One of my favorite races of the series is the kids race here in Walterboro. Where, oh, where are our kids? I think they're coming out, and we're going to get those guys. Again, we want to thank our good friends from Griffin Jewelers for providing first, second, and third place finishers in the children's race. Again, our good friends Griffin Jewelers providing us with first, second, and third place in our kids' race. And thank our volunteers for coming down here and making sure that our kids are nice and safe. Thanks, ladies, for risking life and limb right there to make sure our kids are safe. Oh, wait, here they come. Cheer them on, ladies and gentlemen, as our kids are coming down the home stretch. Look at this little guy. That guy's fast. And there's rider number 966. And here comes the rest of our youngsters. Keep cheering them on, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we want to thank our good friends from Griffin Jewelers. All right, put your hands together for all of our little ones. Here comes the bigger ones. We got to make sure the course is clear before these guys get on the course. Awesomeness. All right, so we might want to get the ladies, we might want to get you guys a little bit further down because they're going to come flying by here, and they're probably going to keep going if we don't have somebody to stop them, just based on experience. Ladies, we are doing call-ups. Please be cognizant of that. We'd appreciate it. All right, so are you guys ready to go down there? We're going to go in 3, 2, 1, and go. Here they come. Unleash the hounds. Look at these guys are holding lines. Oh, no, one guy comes off his line. He's going to take the, no, yes, no, oh. Slow down when you get to the finish line, guys. Good job. Woo, crisis averted. Goodness gracious. That was a fast group of racers right there. I love to watch parents try to stop their kids during a kids crit. Be easier to balance the budget. Looks like we have one more group of racers to go. All right, we've got, I think we've got the course clear now. We are now ready for the next group of racers. Guys, we're going to be going in 3, 2, 1, and go. And here come your rocket ships. Look at that. That guy's got his head pinned down like Cavendish. And here they come to the finish line. That guy's definitely going to be a sprinter. No doubt about it. Another group of racers. Young ladies getting ready to go. Love to see the women racers. Looks like everybody's no worse for the wear, it appears. And again, we want to thank all of our great sponsors and, of course, family and friends. Of course, Palmetto Rural Telephone Cooperative, Heritage Trust, Bank of Walterboro. Of course, the City of Walterboro for putting on another great, what we'll call the hump day race of our races. Oh, the ladies are ready to go. All right, ladies, we are going to go in 3, 2, 1, and go. Here they come. Sharp elbows. No, we got some young men in there. We got a good mix of riders. Oh, look at that guy. Everybody's safe. Slow down when you get to the finish line, guys. Slow down. Phew. Okay. I like that guy. That guy is the cautious one. He's like, I'm going to make sure everything's cleared out before I go through that mess. Is that it? Is that all of our kids today? What a way to finish off a school day. Homework and bike racing. Just stage at the crosswalk. So just stop right there. We don't have to put a rope up or a guillotine or... Actually, slide up just a little bit more so everybody else can get in. For those of you who are being called up, we don't want to make this a challenge, so to speak. All right, ladies, to the line, please. Ladies, just as an FYI, just like at every USA Crit Speed Week race, we are going to be doing call-ups. And that's going to be your top 10, so you know who you are. Smile. Let's see if we can get a good picture in. I think we got a good shot here. Hopefully everybody was smiling. Oh, I cut everyone off on that one. Hey, Judy? Hey, do we have to be out of here at a certain time? No? Oh, so we're going to run the races in their entirety? Okay. Gene said we can cut this one down, but we have no time constraints, so... We have no time constraints, so... Half an hour later. How long is this race? All right, we're just about ready to get started here. Hey, if you're into Twitter or tweeting or anything like that, our hashtag is Walterboro Crit, and you can follow it at USA Crits. Megan Rocks will be tweeting. I'll be occasionally tweeting some fun pictures and whatnot. We're also doing a fun series called In Your Grill. It's a way to make our racers uncomfortable when I interview them by getting really close to them. Tina did good. A-Ray did pretty good. You want to be in your grill, Julie? We'll do an in your grill after the race. I'm going to get so far up in your grill, I'm going to be your teeth. And Tina, you wouldn't even let me you were like nervous. Like, Chad, step back. For those of you who are watching us on the live feed, we apologize. We are having so much fun here in Walterboro. It must be the sea breeze coming off the ocean. Where are we in the state of South Carolina? We're just off of I-95. The beach is probably a rock and a car drive, not too far away from here. We're really close to Charleston, so to speak. It's on the Great Corridor, the Heritage Corridor, which it got started with Rich Hincapie many years ago. It used to be Walterboro and Greenwood and a part of what we call the Heritage Corridor. So it's good to be back in this beautiful location. And ladies, this is how we're going to have you race. Let's see. Let me think who would be the best at limbo. Not Julie, no. Who's the most petite? Wouldn't have to move. Another element to our bike racing today, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the banner. It says USA Crit Speed Week. Speed Week is like a smaller series inside of our big series. So you have the big USA Crits Championship Series race, and that is that's going on as we speak. And it actually started in Delray Beach, Gasparilla in Tampa, the Novant Health in my hometown of Charlotte, Winston-Salem, Athens, Glencoe is next, Vancouver in the Gas Town. Twilight Criterium in Boise, Westchester in Iron Hill, Chris Thader, and then the final race series is the Gateway Cup. Yes, it is in St. Louis, Missouri on Sunday, August the 31st. Alrighty, we are getting close to being ready here. Ladies, we're going to be racing for 22 laps, just as an FYI. And I think now we are ready for our call-ups in the USA Crit Speed Week overall. And what are call-ups, you may be asking? We'd like to identify our top women, our top 10 overall in the USA Crit Speed Week. And we start by calling up number 10. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready. In 10th place overall, racing for Garneau Factory Team, Vanessa Drigo. Rolling up there, Vanessa. There we go. In 9th place overall, racing for CRCA Stands No Tubes, Tracy Cameron. In 8th place overall, racing for Mellow Mushroom, presented by Pink Siren Sports, Laura Jorgensen. And in 7th place overall, racing for Team Tipco to the top, and your current, I think she's the current U25 overall leader, although it might be her sister. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause for, her sister. What am I talking about? Kendall Ryan. Her sister's not racing with her tonight. In 6th place overall, racing for Team Tipco to the top, I think she is the current overall U25 leader. That's Skylar Schneider. In 5th place overall, racing for Team Novo Nordisk. That's Morgan Patton Brown. Where's Morgo? There she is. In 5th place overall. In 4th place overall, racing for Vanderkitten, Liza Rachetto. In 3rd place overall, racing for Pepper Palace Pro Cycling, Christy Keeley. In 2nd place overall, racing for Team Tipco to the top, Samantha Schneider. And your current overall leader, and she's won the past 2 races, ladies and gentlemen, racing for Fearless Femme, Tina Pick. Roll all the way up there to the front, Tina. You've earned it. Go on all the way. You're good? There she is, ladies and gentlemen, your current overall leader and 6-time national criterium champion, Tina Pick. Ladies, you're going to be doing 22 laps, 5 laps to go, no more free laps. If a breakaway gets up the road, we'll be letting you know. If you are potentially out of contention, we may be asked to remove yourself from the course. Other than that, hope you guys enjoy a tour of Walterboro. I want to thank all of our great sponsors, family, and friends that have stopped in to watch a great race today. Let's see. Is our lead moto ready? Is our timers ready? Not yet. Hold on. 22 laps. All right, timer's ready, racer's ready. We're going to be going on Judy's whistle. Ladies, ready? There they go. And a preem on the first lap. $200 preem on the first lap. Smokes. What does that mean to you and me? First rider to cross the line when they come through the finish line is going to get $200 compliments of our good friends at Palmetto Rural Telephone Cooperative and Heritage Trust. Wow. In just a few moments, we're going to have another special guest in about 2 laps. And we're going to do hashtag in your grill. Follow at USA Crits on the Twitter dial, and you'll know exactly what that means. All right, so right now we're going to be interviewing a special guest here in just a few moments, but we've got some rock star racing going on. We've just done a $200 preem from our good friends at Palmetto Rural Telephone Cooperative. And when that happens, the first rider that crosses the line, if you're watching us on the live stream and have never seen a criterium before, that rider will get $200 from our great friends at Heritage Trust and Palmetto Rural Telephone Cooperative. And here they come. And this is a punchy sprint right here. And who's going to grab it? On the inside, it looks like... Oh, that's going to be... Yo. I don't know. I'm going to say maybe Colleen Haydock, the track sprinter, but we'll have to let Chris Moore decide on that one. Flip a coin. We'll get to that in a second. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we've got our women's race. Sorry, we had some administration stuff that we had to do up here, making sure that we got the rider that was right. But there goes our peloton on the other side. So I've got a special guest here. He's a former U.S. Criterium national champion, and he's your current overall leader in the USA Crit Speed Week. Been racing super fast. Of course, he's racing for a good team at Athlete Octane. Did you know that you race for Athlete Octane, Mr. Holloway?
That I do. Actually, Octane treats us really well.
And they do. I understand. So, Dan, what's it mean briefly? Because I think we're going to have to do like a. Actually, let's let these women come through, and then I'll go back to you. As Morgan Patton Brown is on the sharp end right here, we can tell she's rocking that light blue and dark blue and white kit from. And that's Garneau Factory. That looks like Cheryl Fuller Miller first to come through. So Patton Brown, then followed by Cheryl Fuller Miller, who is a current or former world champion on the track. So, Dan, you've had an amazing. The word out on the street is that you're fit right now. You've had an amazing 2 days of racing. What's up?
Yeah, the form is really well. We timed it really well, starting on Tucson. Then we did some other racing, and I got to get home and training, and everything is just flowing exactly how we wanted to coming into the season. So everything's kind of spot on, and we have a little bit of luck on our side, and we're rolling with it.
And the objective over the past couple weeks the past couple races at Athens and in Roswell was for you guys to be super aggressive. I mean, your teammate was up there in Canaveras. You seemed to bridge across on Sunday during a dreadful day of rain and thunder. When you got in the breakaway, were you thinking to yourself, I got this whole series wrapped up because I know that I can win from this break?
It's a little too early to just say, it's in my hand, and, to play around, you have to take it very serious, and that's how we're going into the whole series. Is every race is a one day, and I think, the end consequence of that, I think will be great success for the team. So we come in today as a fresh start, and we're going to race aggressive in our front foot, and, put all 6 guys, at the forefront of the race, represent our sponsors, and, show that we work well as a team. And, I think everything else after that will just be a product of that.
And when you brought 6 riders there, it is definitely a team sport, as we'll see, especially in the women's race and the men's race. Tonight, field sprint, breakaway, do you have a feel for it? Have you guys talked about it?
This is my first time here. It's my first time at Speed Week in general. So, with the experienced guys on our team, it's a longer course. The backstretch is super long. If there's any wind back there, I think it's going to be really hard for a breakaway to stick, just because the line of sight is so long. That keeps the field really motivated if they can see the breakaway the whole time. So I think tonight we'll just have to get out there and race it and see what happens. It's a really long course, and breakaways are hard to stick on a long course like that. So tonight we're just going to have to see how it rolls.
Well, good luck to you and the team. You guys have been racing great, and we look forward to a very, very fun night of racing in the men's field.
Thank you so much, Chad, and thanks everybody at Speed Week.
There you have it, Dan Howler, your current overall leader in the USA Crit Series, and we're going to do a preem on this lap. $75 compliments of, we're going to do a preem on the lap, ladies. Preem on the next lap. Preem on the next lap. $75 cash preem on the next lap. $75 cash preem on the next lap. $75 as Kendall Ryan from Team Tibco is the first rider across the line. So behind me, for those of you who are here at the watching us live, Meg is tweeting from USA Crit Speed Week, and I'm posting some stuff and tagging Walterboro Crit and at USA Crit Speed Week. Some fun stuff we hope to accomplish here in beautiful Walterboro. Hope you guys are enjoying the live stream, as the women's race and the men's race is going to be lights out. For those of you who are watching us from parts unknown, tweet hashtag Walterboro Crit and follow at USA Crits. And tell us where you're watching us from, and I'll be glad to. Meg will reach over my shoulder and say, hey, Chad, we've got people watching from, I don't know, from anywhere parts in the world. So hope you guys are watching the finest Criterion racing in the world here in the United States. Yeah, to say that this race is super aggressive so far, look at Laura Van Gilder right there picking up the cash. She's going to roll with the $75. And it is single file right now as riders are already being put on their, as Dan Holloway would say, not on their front foot, but on their back foot. And it's good to see Charleston's own Ann Moore deciding she's going to come up and race. All right, so I understand from Ashley Travieso in Swagger, we're going to try to do the podiums for the amateur races right in front of the old United States Post Office here in downtown Walterboro. All right, so how do you become USA Crit Speed Week champion? It's all about the points. Laura Van Gilder just got a point for crossing the finish line first. So she's going to get more points to help her move her way up in the overall in the USA Crit Series. Well, guess what? We're going to offer points on this next one. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2 points respectively. So you're going to see maybe a solid fight from somebody like our top 5 overall again. That's going to be Morgan Patton Brown, Liza Ricchetto, Christy Keeley, Sam Schneider, and Tina Pick. And Tina, the tireless one. I mean, she retired for a couple of years, but I tell you, the pull was just too strong with Teresa Cliff Ryan and the rest of the Fearless Femme team. She couldn't fight it off any longer, and she decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a go again. Well, guess what? I dare say that Tina is back. She's won 2 huge races. She won in Athens, and she won in Roswell. And we are going to do a points preem now. Ladies, a points preem on the next lap. Points preem. Points preem. Points preem on the next lap. Points preem. Points preem on the next lap. Points preem on the next lap. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2 as Christy Keeley just attacked and went up the road. And I think we've got another special guest here. Frank heard me. So after this, we're going to have another great interview with who's currently sitting 3rd overall. So we did 1st and 3rd, and now we're going to do 2nd place here in just a second. And that is $8. Yes. Ann came up to me and she said, Chad, I get $2 for every lap I survive. She did good, man. These women's races have just been, as the people from Boston would say, wicked fast. So it's great to see the regional riders come. And Ann right now is a Category 3, and she's racing against some of the top pro women in the world that racing Criterium Racing. So I'd love to see Ann give it a go. She texted me and she said, should I go? And I'm like, yes, you should come. And of course, her husband agrees. Chris Moore, one of our judges here today, scoring. They're going to come back around, and now they've swollen, so you're going to see a massive fight here for our points. And we did interviews with all. I don't think we got Sam Schneider interviewed, but we did get Christy Keeley. We called her the Red Rocket. We did get Tina Pick. We also got Dan Holloway and A-Ray for Hincapie Devo, and now we're going to have another special guest here in just a second. And for you watching us, look at that turn. Oh, that turn is so treacherous. And here they come, and they're going to be jumping up the front. It looks like it's going to be a good little battle. And up on the left-hand side, who's going to get the maximum points? Sam Schneider's going to shake her head. Christy Keeley. So Sam did a little look to Christy and was like, nope. You're not going to take these points from me. So Sam Schneider got maximum points, followed by Christy Keeley. And after that, I think Laura Van Gilder was up there. So All right, so I did bring a special guest up on the stage. His name is Frank Travieso. He races for, of course, United Healthcare, the 706 Project, and Frank currently sitting second overall in the USA Crit Speed Week. So how you feeling, buddy?
Feeling great today. I know the scores pretty well. I went here before. So, it's nothing to talk about. It's working hard and training hard and be able to put a good effort tonight.
And you've won here before, and you've been on the podium a couple of other times, correct?
Yes, correct.
So a first, I think a second, and a third. And this course, it sets up, it's pretty long. In your opinion, and we've seen it before, I don't recall ever seeing wait, you won from a breakaway. Is that correct 1 year, or no, was it the field sprint?
Yeah, I won here for a breakaway. I've been here before, like back when I was young, and we left the field on this course before too.
Ah, that's right. I think that's one of the only times that you've seen a lap field. So, sprint today or breakaway?
I think it's going to be a breakaway today.
Aha. And, well, if it's a breakaway, then that means that you guys and your team have to have a rider in that breakaway, either you in the breakaway or the team, to defend your second place, correct?
That's a priority for the team, just have a guy in the breakaway all the time. Every single move, we're supposed to have a rider on it.
Aha, so super aggressive. So hang on one second. I'm going to do another preem on the next lap, guys. Another preem. Another preem on the next lap. Preem on the next lap. Preem. Another preem on the next lap. Another preem on the next lap. $75 from our good friends at Palmetto Rural Telephone and Downtown Walterboro. All right, so Frank, one last question. What's it going to take to win the USA Crit Speed Week?
It's going to take a lot of breakaways. I see like a Daniel Holloway's being super strong this week, and he already won 2 races, so that's the guy to beat.
There you go. Frank, thanks a lot for stopping by.
Thank you.
Now remember, one last thing. Am I your good luck charm?
Oh, always.
All right, so tonight's your night, right, buddy?
Yeah, thank you.
There you have Frank Travieso, racing for United Healthcare 706 Project. All right, so that was a great interview with Frank Travieso. He actually just came here because I actually had his Garmin head unit. That's the only reason why he came up there. But I want to thank Frank for stopping by. And, of course, our women's race has been lights out with Sam Schneider with a little head shake like, not so fast, everyone. These are my points. Oh, great activity right now. Super strong move. Of course, everyone knows when the Team Tipco gets on the front, and that's none other than Kendall Ryan, who's been racing super aggressive the past couple weeks. They're trying to get in a breakaway and trying to, if Kendall gets in a breakaway, that forces everybody else to chase, and that will save Sam to sprint at the end. There's a subtle dynamic starting to unfold, and I asked the Fearless Femme team if they thought a breakaway might roll today. And there is a good chance that there might be one, especially if you get Team Tibco involved in the fray. You get them, Fearless Femme, you get Mellow Mushroom, Garneau Quebecor, and of course you get Team Tibco involved. If you get riders from those teams in a breakaway, that thing is going to stick. So far, though, we have not had that dynamic unfold over the past 2 days of racing, and maybe that'll change here tonight in Walterboro. But right now, we are going to crank it up from the city of Walterboro. We are going to do a $150 cash preem on the next lap. $150, $150, $150 cash preem on the next lap. $150, $150, $150 cash preem on the next lap. So here we go, folks, and it is back to racing. And I did make a mistake earlier. I was looking at the Garneau Quebecor website for the call-ups for the next race, but it's Garneau Factory. They're the American-based team rocking that pink kit. And here comes Laura Van Gilder trying to maximize the points. Laura is gonna know it's gonna be. I think it was. Was that Colleen again? And again, Fearless Femme doing what they do best. Go after sprints and preems. And do well in the overall. We are going to do a mid-race preem. On top of that, we're going to be offering cash to the top three. And Megan was a 125, yep, 125, 75, and 50. So we're going to offer 10 points, 7 points, 5, 3, and 2. Then on top of that, for the top three, we're going to add 175, 125, 75, and 50. So I understand that we've got Sebastian Morfin right now watching the live stream in his car. I don't know if that's a safety issue or not, but so be it. And David, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. The University of Florida cycling team is watching the live stream, so I'm not in the SEC country, so I can say go Gators and be safe without getting... I've been told this is Gamecock country, but, there might be a debate on that. But, hey, go Gamecocks, too. All right, so here comes your peloton. And it looks like it's being led by, of course, Mellow Mushroom. Mellow Mushroom and Team Tepco. Mid-race preem. Mid-race preem. Mid-race preem. Mid-race preem. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2 points. And 125, 75, and 50. I think we're correct in the right. It keeps saying that Aaron Silliman's winning the preems, but it's Colleen Hayduck. And just recognize the riders. I don't recognize numbers. I recognize faces and styles. So there's a little bit of discussion going on here. But Colleen is their sprinter, and she can sprint. And she's a trackie. And it looks like Colleen keeps getting the preems, but it's popping up Aaron Silliman. For those of you who are following along closely. If you want to follow along on the Twitter dial, we're going to do our podium 4-5 race coming up here in 2 minutes. We need Greg, Jeff, and Jeff. Oh, we're ready. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now ready for our podium in our category 4-5 race. In third place, racing for Mrs. Roses, that's going to be Greg Jones. In second place is going to be Charleston Bicycle Company's Jeff Avens. And your winner today with a great race today is Jeff Moore. Congratulations, gentlemen, on a great race. This is for your points. Looks like Liza Ricchetto is going to grab Tina Pick, followed by Sam Schneider. And it looked like right there, Julie Kulieska was in fourth. So it goes, if my facial recognition goes right. Oh, jeez. Liza Ricchetto was first. Third was Sam Schneider. Second, I don't know. I'll go back and look at it. Tina Pick. Okay, I got it right. And then Sam Schneider, and then Julie Kulieska. And then Kendall Ryan was fifth. Cool. Got that. Well, at least visually I got it. Then I couldn't remember what I said. And for those of you who are watching us on the live stream, welcome to a beautiful Wednesday evening. Hump day of the series and hump day with our races. Again, well, thanks for all of you guys that are following us all around the world here on our live stream. Evidently, a Stellus pro cyclist, Clay Murfitt, he's injured and on the shelf right now. And Meg, he is watching us from Tasmania, which I can't do the math. I have no idea what time it is in Tasmania, but it is not 7 o'clock in the evening. So the Tassie's watching from Tasmania. He's back home healing up after a crash. And I'm sure he's going to be cheering on his team as we have somebody. I think that's going to be our farthest viewer. I don't know if anybody can beat Tasmania. Maybe. I think maybe if we go to Pago, or I don't know. My geography is not that strong. But anyway, thanks for following along, all you guys watching from all over the world at the 2014 USA Crit Speed Week Championship Series. Also, Pretoria, South Africa. Parents are following along, so that could be close, but I still think New Zealand, they're the kind of opposite of each other. Okay, so now we've got a little sabbatical in our race with 9 laps left to go, guys. 9 to go, 9 to go. 9 laps left to go here. 9 laps left to go. 9 to go, 9 to go, 9 to go, 9 to go. This race has been on since the word go, and I think the reason why it's been so fast is because of the brevity of the race, its length, it's going to be probably a 50-minute crit, where for the professional women, that's a few minutes shy of where we typically find professional women cycling criteriums. So South Pretoria, South Africa, Tasmania, University of Florida, Boston. Bostonians say wicked fast. Thanks for watching for those of you guys that are in Boston and New England. And for those of you who are watching us here, we appreciate your time and the energy as our and the men are starting to make their way close to the finish line as they get ready for the races. Big smile there from Becca, who's been following along with the series. Awesome to see her here racing in the race series. Again, the teams that need to be in a breakaway, if one's going to happen, are going to have to be Fearless Femme, Mellow Mushroom, Tipco, probably Vanderkitten because of Liza Ricciotto high in the overall, and Mellow Mushroom. We're going to do a $75 premium from Colleton Medical Center, $75 cash premium from Colleton Medical Center, $75 cash premium from Colleton Medical Center. As Laura Jorgensen, the ever-active Laura Jorgensen from Boca Raton, Florida, is now on the attack racing for Mellow Mushroom and Pink Siren. So Laura has been extremely aggressive in our race series. Let's see where Laura fits into the overall. I think she's in laps led. I think she's usually very high up in the laps led. Laura is currently 8th overall with 200 and, let's see, how many points does she have? 389, 402, 412 points, and she's your current laps leader, which means she crossed the finish line most before anybody else. And she's leading the overall USA Crits Championship Series after 5 stops, I think. So pretty cool. All right, so sharpening the knives right now, and I mean by sharpening the knives, I mean sharpening the sprinter's toolkits, so to speak, because this has the earmarks of what we call a bunch gallop. And I said something about first out of that turn usually wins or comes close to winning the race, and I think that's a distinct possibility here, as that turn is so sharp and so acute. And you can see if a rider can get some sort of separation out of that turn, it's going to be so hard to come over the top of them, and that's proof point right here. And so we've got one rider going after the win, and Laura is going to grab that cash. So Laura Van Gilder, with 7 laps left to go, is going to grab the cash and split it with her teammates. All right, 7 laps left to go. We might have to do some preem additions here, as we've got so much cash to give. We're probably going to have to double up on the preems. Now we're going to add interest to intrigue. We're going to have 6 laps left to go. So what that happens is we do a points preem 5 laps in, we do a points preem halfway in, and then we do a points preem 5 laps out. So right now we're coming down to where we're going to be ringing the bell for the 5 laps to go, which means you ring it at 6, and they'll be sprinting for it with 5 to go. That's 10, 7, 5, and 3 points respectively. The women were hoping for a sprint, for a breakaway, but I just don't see it happen. I don't think it's long enough for these ladies' legs to get a little knackered, so it looks like this is going to come down to a sprint finish. The men's, on the other hand, we might just find our way to squeak out a couple of riders to get up the road. Whether they stay away or not is something we can discuss on topic. We are going to do a points preem. Points preem on the next lap. Points preem on the next lap. Points preem on the next lap. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2 points. Points preem on the next lap. Points preem on the next lap. And the winner gets $150 cash. $150 cash and a points preem on the next lap. So that should make it rather interesting, as it looked like 3 riders were trying to slip up the road and get a little bit of a gap. Again, if you're watching us on the live stream, welcome to Walterboro. We're pretty close to the ocean, not on the ocean, but there's definitely a great little breezes that will give you an idea that we are pretty close. Of course, Charleston's not too far away from here, and right off of I-95, part of what we call the Heritage Corridor, which is the way this race series got started a long time ago by Rich Hincapie. And as you see on our live feed, we have 6 laps left to go, and they will be sprinting for the cash. And it looks like we've got a group of 3 riders that have got a little bit of separation. And I think that might cause a little bit of angst in our peloton, as we've got one rider trying to drive it, and it might appear to be Christy Keeley. She is on the front trying to pin it, trying to get back some points that she lost in the earlier sprints. And this is an awfully big bullet that she's spending. And it does appear that we are all back together again on the backside of the race course. And it looks like we have 1, 2, actually 3, 4, 5, 6 riders there. All right, so we've got no more free laps here, no more free laps. And it looks like a nice, interesting sprint right there. 5 places deep. Looks like Kendall Ryan was the first across the line there. And I know Tina Pick was in the fight, so was Christy Keeley, and so was Sam Schneider. I think Sam was second in that group. So Sam Schneider picks up second, I think. Let's see, 225. No, I'm sorry, Liza Ricchetto was second. Then I think it went Sam. Or Tina Pick. And then 215 was Christy Keeley. She was 4th. And then 5th was 221. And that is going to be Sam. So it's actually Kendall Ryan first and her teammate, the bookends that make up Team Tibco. Sam Schneider was 5th. So it looks like we've got Savannah, Georgia saying hey, and Ann Boyer and Frank Cundiff down in watching it in the ATL. Let us know where you're watching from. Hashtag at USA Crits, hashtag Walterboro Crit, and hashtag our good friends at In Your Grill, which is something kind of rather goofy that we did, but what the heck. It's hump race and hump day. All right, so we've expired on the free lap rule. What that means, if there's a crash or an accident, riders can go into the pit, but they will not get a free lap. Will not. So that might add a little bit of intrigue to our. But I tell you who's shown really good, strong legs. That's Liza Ricchetto showed strong legs today. Kendall Ryan has showed good legs. Laura Van Gilder. Christy Keeley showed some pretty good form today as far as her sprints. And lest we forget about Sam Schneider. Those 5 are always in the battle for the sprint. Now we're going to do a $75 preem. $75 cash preem. $75 cash preem as Sheriff Fuller Muller's attacked with 4 laps left to go. $75 cash preem on the next lap. So $75 cash on the next lap. So Sheriff Fuller Muller has attacked and tried to get away. Racing for Garneau Factory here out of the United States. And it looks like she was anxiously trying to get some separation. Cheryl is really good on the track, and she's also proved that she's solid here in the USA Crit Speed Week Series. Clocking in from all over the United States of America, especially the Southeast where the USA Crit Speed Week is so prevalent. You know, the riders, the racers, we have racers from all over the world, but we also have regional racers towing the line, and this has been such a huge series for the Southeast for so many years. Athens, Georgia, checking in. The granddaddy of them all on Saturday night in front of, I don't know, 25, 30,000. I don't know. For those of you who were watching the live stream, you know how many people were there. It was one of those epic moments of bike racing, and an epic race in its own right. And the ladies are going to see 3 laps left to go when they come through. All right, so guys, you've got 3 to go, and our young and up-and-comer, that's rider number 230. Tracy Cameron right there from Tucson. Tracy just upgraded from a 3 and is now sitting currently 10th over in the top 10 overall in the USA Crit Speed Week. We did a little talk with her before the race, and super excited. She, you could tell she's sort of starstruck, but she felt pretty comfortable in her own space here. And if you're attacking with 3 laps left to go in a USA Crit Speed Week race, you got to have some confidence.
You might be. The next one we're going to ring the bell.
And, for those of us, if you're in the know and here in Walterboro, we always do gambler preems. And gambler preems are great because the exciting aspect of the gambler is that you ring the bell and that cash is a gamble. And we call it a gambler's preem because you ring the bell and there's 2 laps left to go. The effort that you spend for that gambler's preem is going to be needed to also set yourself up to sprint again for the win. So if you go for a gambler's preem, you better have 2 kicks, so to speak, unless you know that you just want to go after the cash. So everybody's fighting for real estate on the front of that race right now. We did have one rider away, and it was Cameron. Let's see if she's still away right now. Oh, she is. This is a move that everybody in the peloton's kind of like, man, what do we do in this scenario? And I think the pace is now picked up. We are going to do a gambler preem of $200 gambler preem. $200 gambler preem. $200 cash preem on the next lap. $200 cash preem on the next lap. Gambler preem, gambler preem, gambler preem. And I tell you what, this youngster Cameron is, she's added a little intrigue to our races. You know, a lot of the pro women are kind of just getting to know this youngster. And Tracy Cameron, everybody's kind of sitting up. Maybe that pep talk we talked to her before, but I tell you what, so one team has missed that move, and that is Pepper Palace. They better make turns right here, or else 4 teams have got riders. There goes Cameron through the turn. We've got 1, 2, 3 riders trying to bridge across.
You're only going to have to move up on that last lap in the final turn. They're coming into that final turn.
And I think it's Holly Matthews, also from Team Tipco, is trying to get across to that. And they would have a rider in the break. CRCA stands no tubes, the youngster, and Tracy Cameron, rider number 230, who's currently sitting, let's see, Tracy would vault up. She's sitting 9th overall, and everybody's got to be wise to her because she's really shown a pretty solid sprint. And with 2 laps left to go, it looks like we're all back together again. There goes your moto. And on the backside of the course, it looks like the breakaway has been gobbled up. And the field has been separated just a wee bit. But this is going to be lights out racing. No pun intended, as our women will see 1 lap left to go. There's your lead moto. And we're going to ring the bell to indicate that there's going to be 1 lap left to go. And I tell you what, they're going to be using every bit of space here on Main Street. Maybe we can get a team to do a lead out, but I tell you what, it is turning into a serious fight right now with 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. 1 lap left to go. The Gambler Preem goes to 2:58 with 1 lap left to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. 1 lap left to go. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. 1 lap left to go. And it's Alizy Brienne, the French-Canadian from Saint-Laurent, Quebec, was the rider that tried to bridge across to that move. And man, I tell you what, that was a heck of a move. And that was Cat Carr from Ski Nourishment grabbing that preem. Now, I tell you what, it is way fast right now. Super fast on the backside. And it's great to see you guys following along on the live stream. It's raining cash here. And if you've not been following Speed Week, you know this is Frankie Andreu says it's the cash circuit. Cash preems, and the men's race is no different. They're really going to throw out a lot of cash. And here they come down the backside of the stretch. Is it still single file, or are they bunched up and they're going to reset the deck here? And gentlemen, please keep the course clear until the officials give you the okay. And Morgan Patton Brown is the first rider to strike out. So Morgan Patton Brown is hoping to hit that turn 3 and turn 4 by herself. Usually its first rider out of that turn is going to have a better chance than none of winning the race because they have a clean line to the finish line. And it's not. Somebody's coming over the top. It looks like Fearless Femme. It looks like Teresa Cliff Ryan is trying to lean out Pick. Schneider's on that wheel. It looks like Keely's buttressed up. And your winner is going to be, it looks like Tina Pick, followed by Sam Schneider. 3rd place, it looked like it was Kendall Ryan. And then Christy Keely finishes off in 4th. And that is just a guess off the top of my head, calling it by facial and cycling. Yeah, and guys, we're going to stop you behind. And Christy Keeley gets 4th, along with Kendall Ryan in 3rd. I think Sam Schneider was 2nd, and your winner today, and again, 3 races in a row, Tina Pick. Wow. Guys, remember, we will be staging you. If you're in the top 10, please come behind the stage. And guys, we're not staging you at the finish line. We're staging you behind behind the crosswalk. I apologize, but we're going to have you back a little bit, please. Back behind the crosswalk. Thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate it. We don't want to pull out the sickle and the hammer. Well, Tina Pick, folks. I mean, what more can you say about her? The ageless, the timeless, the I want to be a Tina Pick. And here's your men's pro field, anxious and itching to get out here to race. But before that, we want to celebrate these guys and talk about our top riders in our field. All right, guys, we are just about ready for our call-ups, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to recognize our top racers in the field. And without further ado, I think we'll go ahead and start calling our men up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our first call-up right now is your current Canadian National Criterium champion. He is in the Canadian National Champions jersey, racing for Garneau Québécois, Pierre Nod. There's Pierre in 10th place overall, racing for Seasucker Gutton Plan Coaching, David Guttenplan. In 9th place overall, racing for Champion System Stands, No Tubes, Isaac Howe. In 8th place, racing for Estella Cycling Team, Stephen Hyde. Out of the Dominican Republic, in 7th place overall, racing for CRCA Foundation, Rafael Meran. Racing for Team Smart Stop, in 6th place overall, Travis Liverman. In 5th place overall, racing for Garneau Québécois, Adam Faribault. In 4th place overall, racing for Athlete Octane, Anthony Cannavare. Out of New Zealand, your current U25 leader and 3rd place overall, racing for Hincapie Sportswear Development, Alexander Ray. In second place from Cuba, now living in Athens, Georgia, racing for Team United Healthcare 706 Project, Frank Travieso. And your current overall leader, former National Criterium champion, winner of Saturday and Sunday, racing for Athlete Octane, Dan Holloway. And that is your men's pro field. They are ready to go on hump day here in beautiful Walterboro. Stop 3 of our 5 races. Of course, we want to thank the city of Walterboro and everyone that's helped support our races. All right, guys, here's the regular spiel. We're doing, how many laps are we doing? 37? Okay, let's do 37. Okay, 37 laps, 5 laps to go. The free lap rule expires. Any riders potentially out of contention? Any riders potentially out of contention may be asked to remove themselves from the race course. Other than that, lots of preems. We have points preems and race preems. And I think that's it. Let's forget my talking. Let's get to bike racing. So I just want to make sure our lead moto, where's our lead moto? He's in Charleston County. Oh. So the lead moto is now a chase moto. Timers ready? Almost ready. We're ready up there, and I think we're ready up here. Ready over there? Wait a second, let me get it to 37 and then we get going. Sweet. Judy, you ready? Timer's ready. Pace motor ready. On Judy's whistle. There they go. Get out of here, guys. There goes our men's pro peloton. And a preem on the first lap. 250. 250 from the city of Walterboro. A $250 cash preem from the city of Walterboro. Wow. All right, so now we've got the men's field out on the race course. The men's field is now out on the race course on a fun night of bike racing here in downtown Walterboro. Our men's field is out on the race course. Let us know if you're watching us on the live stream. Yes, we do have a live stream going on. Let us know where you are. It's hashtag Walterboro Crit and at USA Crits. Calm before the storm here as we've got our men's pro field out on the race course. The first lap is $250 of a preem. I'm sorry. All right, so grab it up, that's 61. As the men's pro field goes, it looks like it was Chad Hartley potentially. Tina Pick, or somebody from Fearless, a manager from Fearless Femme, could you come to the finish line? Tina Pick or team management from Fearless Femme to the finish line, please. Again, we've got our men's professional field. It's been the Dan Holloway show and the Tina Pick show so far. Let's see if we can shake it up at the men's race. So Dan has been white hot as our Heritage Trust pace car comes through. And $100 preem on the next lap. $100 preem on the next lap. $100 cash preem on the next lap. $100 cash preem for the winner on the next lap. $100 cash preem. $100 cash preem on the next lap. $100 cash. And for those of you who are watching us here at the home stretch and you don't know exactly what we mean by a preem is a race inside of a race, so to speak. So the first rider across the line on the next lap is going to grab themselves some cool hard cash. Compliments of the city of Walterboro. We are live here in downtown Walterboro for the men's professional bike race. Dan Holloway's got a pretty sizable lead on everybody right now. But I tell you what, that doesn't mean the fight's over. As we got some interested parties in Frank Travieso. All right, so now it's been, is that A-Ray trying to get it? So Alexander Ray is going to grab it, and I bet you he's going to roll it. He's going to stay on it. He's not a guy that's going to go after a premium and sit up. So Ray is on the attack after going after that preem. We did it in the grill with him on Twitter, so if you want to go to USA Crits, you can follow. Follow the live stream as well if you have your iPhone or your Droid. If you're here at the finish line, there's obviously going to be a pretty significant delay. So the advancements right now, you've got Alexander Ray and a rider from Athlete Octane that are now trying to slip away here in our men's race. And I don't think that's going to sit too well with the other teams that would love to have a rider in that break. Frank Travieso said, I think he's currently second overall, thinks that a breakaway will get up the road and will stick. So we're going to find out if Frank's prognostications are correct. All right, we're going to do another preem on the next lap. $100 cash preem on the next lap. $100 cash preem on the next lap. $100 cash preem. $100 cash preem for the winner of the next lap. $100 cash preem. $100 cash preem for the winner of the next lap. And again, remember we said we're going to be ringing the bell a lot for cash preems here in beautiful Walterboro. So it does look like Garno Kevacor is another team that are going to try to get in the fray right now. They're on the attack. And Jacob Kaufman out of St. Augustine, Quebec, was your rider that was on the attack. So Kaufman is trying to get up the road. Garno Kevacor has had a great season so far. They're looking for a breakthrough ride here, though, in the USA Crit Speed Week. All right, a points preem and cash. Points preem and cash. Points preem and cash for the winner of the next lap. Points, preem, and cash, 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2 points. So here are your riders that you need to look for to go after these points. I'm going to give you kind of a little breakdown of where we are. Dan Holloway's got a pretty sizable gap. It's got about a 100-point gap on Travieso and Alex Ray. But Frank Travieso, Dan Holloway, Alex Ray, Anthony Canavari, Adam Faribault, Rafael Moran, Steve Hyde, Isaac Howland, Gutton Plan, along with Thomas Brown and Adam Myerson. Watch those guys go after this cash, and more importantly, the points. Whoever has the most points after our 5 days of racing will be crowned king and queen of our USA Crit Speed Week. Again, for those of you who are watching us on the live feed, hope you're not watching us on the live feed. The live feed, I apologize. Welcome to Walterboro. This is stop number 3 of 5. We make our way to Gaffney, well, Spartanburg, then Gaffney, which is in the northwest part of the state of South Carolina. Right, we're on I-95. Gaffney and Spartanburg are up around the I-85 corridor near the mountain chain, otherwise known as Caesar's Head, which is a famous climb around that area. You got Hogback, of course, the famous Paris Mountain, where the U.S. Pro Cycling Championship made its heyday a few years back. But this is for 10 points and $100. Matt Brennan, it looks like. So Brennan's going to capitalize. Rider number 4. So Brennan's going to get maximum points. And that's Garno Kepicor. That's rider number 20. He's going to also gobble that. So Faribault is going to get maximum points. Well, 7 points. So Adam Faribault is looking to climb up a little bit in the overall. So with those 7 points, he will go up. Actually, he'll be tied with Cannavaro from Athlete Octane. So that moves him up a spot. So how do you get points? You lead a lap, you get a point. You win the mid-race or a 5 laps in or 5 laps out preem, you get 10. You get 7 points if you get second in the sprints. And, of course, when you get maximum points as we head into the final sprint, or if there's a breakaway, you get maximum points. For those of you who are watching live on the stream, you can see by our counter how many laps in, or how many laps we have left to go. 30 laps right now. 30 laps left to go. Which, if you're doing the math, it's probably about 60 minutes, maybe a little bit more of bike racing here. And there's Brendan on the front. And of course, InCycle Predator decided they've had enough of that, and that's Calixto Bello. Super strong rider for InCycle Predator. And Calixto is going to probably draw this thing back to square even. But wait for the counter punch or the counter move. We are going to do a $100 cash preem. Compliments of Heritage Trust on the next lap. So when they come back through, Megan's going to be ringing the bell for a $100 cash preem. Cash preems are a great way to kind of incite the peloton to maybe, and I don't know if you want to call it incite, but I want to agitate the peloton. Sometimes riders will go after what we call preems, and that'll give them a good gap, so to speak. But the riders that go after the preems that are high up in the overall, they usually sit up because they know that chances of them getting a free rein are nothing. As we got a $100 cash preem. $100 cash preem on the next lap. Compliments of Heritage Trust. $100 cash preem. $100 cash preem for the winner of the next lap. Compliments of Heritage Trust. So we want to thank our good friends from Heritage Trust for providing us with this cash preem. There are a lot of sprints that are happening for this cash today. And the men's peloton seems to be quite, I don't know, shall we say relaxed? Again, we want to thank Walterboro for letting us come back for multiple years of bike racing here. This is the longest standing stop of the whole series. Is Walterboro. So kudos to you guys for letting us come and do some bike racing. That's a nice little sprint for the cash. And riders are yelling, go, 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 because they realize that Guzman might have started something here, but that looks like it's coming to shutdown mode. But this is without a doubt the most strung out the race has been since the race has started. So it's a sure sign that was a hot lap. So the fight, or actually not the fight, it's actually the competition. I know fight sounds so aggressive, but essentially the USA Crit Speed Week races are a fight inside of a fight. I mean, you have multiple rounds, both inside of the day-stay race and throughout the series. And right now, the prize fight, the guy that's got the belt on, is Dan Holloway, and it's going to take a lot of body blows to dislodge that. And the reason why is because he's got a shield of protection from other riders from Athlete Octane. They're rocking the orange and the light blue and the white kits. A solid team. Come armed for bear. Looks like Alder Martz right there from Charlotte, North Carolina. First rider across the line there for Hincapie Devo. So Alder's the first rider to cross the finish line on that lap. So essentially, you've got the top teams trying to keep this thing together. It would be great to have like a little breakaway to add a little mystery to our book. Call it a 37 act play, and so far the first 10 acts before the intermission have been sprint for the preem, but not really get anything that's going to be dangerous or get up the road. Alexander Ray probably was the main guy that started the fireworks, but everybody realized that third overall, and Alex Ray is not going to go anywhere. They shut him down pretty fast because he's so dangerous. Oh man, $100 preem on the next lap, $100 cash preem, as Dan Holloway has now sent out the alarm bells, both literally and figuratively. Dan Holloway's on the attack, and we've got $100 cash preem. So Dan Holloway, who we did an in-your-grill selfie, so to speak, earlier in the day, is on the attack. The guy is like relentless. Forget the MMA style fighting. We've got the Dan Holloway from Athlete Octane style of fighting. He does not sit back and wait for that one big haymaker to knock out his competition. He just throws body blow, body blow, body blow. in hopes that everybody just say, you know what, I'm done. I am done. I am done chasing Dan Holloway around.
Coming to field with a flat. He's back in the race. He's in the field.
So interesting to see Dan Holloway show his cards so early with 25 laps or 26 laps left to go. So Dan Holloway is first rider to strike it, and I tell you what, that is when you see him go, everybody gets on full alarm. You just don't let somebody like a Dan Holloway. Well, it's obvious he's won the past 2 races. He won in Athens on what was a breakaway, and then got caught and won the field sprint, which is in its own right is an amazing feat. But then he won again in a breakaway yesterday. So this is for that on Sunday. This is for the cash. And I think that was right at number 143 on the outside, just pipped Holloway. So I'm going to go with, that was your French-Canadian national champion. I didn't recognize the jersey. Yeah, Pierre Nod. And I tell you what, watching Pierre race a couple of weeks ago, guy's got an incredible turn of speed. So it's cool. It's interesting to watch the dynamic there. You had former national champion in Holloway spreading it out against the current national Canadian champion. So you had the Maple Leaf versus the Stars and Stripes, or the former Stars and Stripes, and Dan Holloway. So that was a nice little battle to see. And Pierre Gnon is another guy that you could tip your hat to because he's got a full squad here in the Garneau Quebecor, the French-Canadian-based team. All right, so we've got an interesting shakedown right now. The fight has now begun. This is where it gets kind of serious, as with 24 laps left to go, these guys' legs aren't tired. The formal USA Crit Speed Week, there would have been a race last night. There would have been 1 day off, so we'd had 2 races on the weekend, then a day off, and then another race somewhere in South Carolina, and then tonight. And then in previous incarnations of the race series, it would have also been a Thursday night race. So by the time they got to Sunday, these guys were just critted out, so to speak. All right, so what I understand that we are going to do another $100 cash preem on the next lap. There comes your lead moto with 23 laps left to go. Just under 40, let's call it 45 minutes of racing or so. And it is single file right here. We're going to do another $100 cash premium. $100 cash premium for the winner of the next lap. So $100 for the winner of the next lap as your first rider to the line was Stephen Hyde. Stephen was involved in that little dust-up in Athens, and he seemed to have bounced back pretty good. And Stephen Hyde for Stellus Pro Cycling. And for those of you who just kind of meandered up here and you're in Walterboro, South Carolina, you've stumbled upon a criterium, otherwise known as a crit or a criterium. And what that is usually the courses are about a mile in length, maybe a little bit less. Some of them are a kilometer in length. It just depends on how the promoter decides he wants to set it up. And they'll race for either laps or time. The pro men and the pro women, we usually do laps because we pretty much know that they're going to be racing straight out of the gate and consistently hard and fast like the women did earlier, and now the men. So we can calculate that these guys are doing about 2 minutes and 10-second laps. And we have said it earlier today. We talked to Frank Travieso and Dan Holloway and Alex Ray, and we asked them their thoughts on whether they thought this would be a field sprint or a breakaway. Frank seemed to think that there would be a breakaway, and if I recall correctly, Dan was kind of indifferent. He just said, we want to win. We don't care how we do it. And then Alex Ray, I think, was kind of stuck in between. And now we've got a nice little sprint, and there goes A-Ray again on the attack. Matt Musa and Chad Hartley both looking around. Matt for Stan's No Tubes, Chad Hartley for Athlete Octane kind of looks at Ray go, and then as soon as Ray attacked, Musa and Hartley looked back to see if there was going to be any, shall we say, any response to Ray's attack, and Alex seemed to be picking up cash, and he's also being super aggressive today for Hincapie Devo. .21 laps left to go to figure this one out as the 2014 USA Crits Speed Week. The difference between USA Crits and the Speed Week Series, the Speed Week Series is kind of, I don't know how to put it, but the Athens Twilight is one of the USA Crits National Series, whereas Speed Week is being kicked off by the National Series race that is Athens Twilight. Then Roswell is a part of the Speed Week. We are here in Walterboro as a part of Speed Week. Also, Gaffney and Spartanburg, South Carolina, are part of Speed Week. And we finish up Saturday in beautiful Gaffney, North Carolina. And there's your lead moto. And we have sensed a sense of urgency on these last couple of laps. And again, Athlete Octane and Hincapie Devo have been the teams that have really kind of struck things out, and Anthony Canavari was the first across the line. He's going to pick up a point. He was instrumental in delivering his teammate, Dan Holloway, in the breakaway on Sunday's, shall we say, rather interesting weather with a absolute virtual downpour and thunderstorm before the race started, and it kind of kept on lightly throughout the course of the race. And if you're following us on the Twitter dial at USA Crits and hashtag Speedweek, hashtag Walterboro, that's WALTERBRO Crit, CRIT. And for those of you who are follow us on the live feed. Thanks a lot for tuning in on a school night for most of you, or a work night. Pretty cool from what I understand from Megan that we have people from all over the world watching. In South Africa, we have people from Australia, California. Well, some of you guys, tisk on you for watching during a work day, but man, join in. We've got what we call crits and grits. All right, so we're going to do another $100 cash premium on the next lap. As we are closing in on halfway, gentlemen, we're going to do another $100 cash premium from Palmetto Rural Telephone Cooperative. Another $100 cash premium. So first rider across the line on the next lap, you got it. $100 cash premium. As Brian Sheedy from Giant on the Road team is what we call the ticket taker or tail gunner. That's the rider that can somehow find his way sitting on the back, not getting popped. And the reason why I say not getting popped is if you're usually on the back, you're in the back for a reason. You don't have the fitness or the skill level, or both, or to be able to fight your way to the front. But some riders just have made that an art to be able to sit back there. Other riders in front of them will come unhinged or come unglued or pop, as we call it in the sport of bike racing, and that rider that's in the very back, which we call the ticket taker, well then what in theory we call it a ticket taker or a ticket puncher, will punch their card, say thank you very much for racing your bike, and then he or she will slide back to the last person, and they'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and that's pulling some bullets, as we say, or shooting some bullets, or writing checks, or burning matches. What other euphemism you want to, or analogy you want to use for the rider that's constantly sitting in the back but maintaining that position throughout the course of the race? So we're down under 20 to go. Frank Travieso or Alexander Ray. It was A-Ray getting that. So Frank thought he had it, I think, and then Ray came up on the inside and did what we call pipped him. Did a bike throw at the finish line, and Ray is going to grab that cash. I'll tell you what, he has a big checking account as far as physiology goes. He's writing a lot of checks tonight, but he's also picking up a lot of cash. So maybe they'll offset when they come to the end of the race. He's picked up 3 preems so far. So Ray has grabbed himself the preem. Strategy is now going to play into this. And what do I mean by that? It's Dan Holloway. It's Dan Holloway's series to lose, and he has been super aggressive in the series. And normally you think of somebody that could sprint like him would just sit back and wait, but no, not him. He is a guy, and he's confident in his team that if he takes off and gets up the road, he has the team to be able to not only protect the breakaway, but maybe manipulated like Cannavaro did on Sunday. All right, so mid-race preem. Mid-race preem. Guys, we got a mid-race preem, 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2. And $250, $150, and $100 for the top three. So we've done the mid-race preem here, 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2. 10.7, 5, 3, and 2, and $250, $150, and $100. Again, let's go over the riders that we think will probably go after that. Well, not think. We pretty much can guess because these are the riders. You might have some riders that may not be going for the overall, would be going for the cash, but usually this is straight arm here. Pretty much straight. Dan Holloway, Frank Travieso, Alex Ray, Cannavaro, Meyerson, Liverman, Maron, Hyde, Howe, the Gutton Plan, Thomas Brown, and Pierre Agnaud, who has joined the series, the Canadian national champion. He's shown a propensity to go after some of the cash too. And it does look like we potentially have one rider or several riders starting to attack as we close in on 17 laps left to go. And again, for those of you who are joining us on the live stream, this is our third night of streaming, and we are here in Walterboro, South Carolina. My name is Chad Andrews, bringing you the live commentary throughout the course of the week. On Saturday, I was joined by Jackie Crowell and Jeff Hopkins, and I'm closing out the rest of the series. And it looks like the maximum points, Dan Holloway, Rafael Maron, Chris Uberti, and it looks like that was Andres Alzate was fourth, just based on what I see. So Uberti, actually we saw him doing an interesting backstory to that. I was, to Chris Uberti, I was in Greenville, South Carolina on my way back from Roswell, Georgia. So I stopped in Greenville. There's a great little ride that happens on what we call the Swamp Rabbit Trail. And you see everybody out on that trail. I mean, you know, all riders and family and whatever. And we happened upon a rider that was on a mountain bike in t-shirt and jeans, a t-shirt and shorts. And it was Chris Uberti, who was assisting two riders on a mountain bike that didn't have any tools. So we stopped, and it was kind of interesting to see Chris there helping those guys out. And the guys didn't know who they were talking to. They didn't realize that they were talking to a professional cyclist. So we said, yeah, this is Chris Uberti with a Stellus Pro Cycling team. And you're like, really? Can we get a picture? So that was a really neat kind of side story to Chris Uberti and his exploits this week. And if you're watching us on the live streamer here, you can notice the unique changes to the race venues, and I'll kind of give you the backdrop on that as soon as we get through this lap. We're going to do a $100 cash preem. $100 cash preem. Are you kidding me? Dan Holloway's attacked again. $100 cash preem. $100 cash preem. And Dan Holloway from Athlete Octane, your overall leader. This is like akin to the yellow jersey wearing the Tour de France, constantly on the attack. You never see it. Well, Dan Holloway's flipping the script here. He's decided, you know what? I'm feeling good, and I'm going to rip the legs off of everybody. I am going to stamp my domination on the USA Crit Speed Week Series. So Dan Holloway from Athlete Octane has attacked. Goodness gracious. Again, we have the best crit racers here. Now, there's another race that's going on in New Mexico. It's called Gila. or Tour of Gila, and it's featured at thousands of feet of altitude, and it's just another great race that's going on. That's part of the NCC and UCI, and this is part of the USA Crits Championship Series. And there's some subtle differences in the riding styles of these athletes, but usually you can mix and match them, especially with the domestic teams. They'll sometimes field a team that'll go out to New Mexico, and other teams will field teams to come race here. And like the team that's doing extremely well here, Athlete Octane, has decided to send all their crit racers, so to speak, quote unquote, to come here and race and to protect Dan's overall lead. And we've got 15 laps left to go here. Gentlemen, 15 laps left to go. 15 laps left to go, and Alexander Ray again. It's the Holloway and Ray show here. So Alex Ray, the diminutive powerhouse from Hincapie Devo, is going again. And you get somebody like Ray, who's shaped like a M80 and sprints like an M80, in a way, in that dark kit, that stealth black kit from Hincapie. Of course, everybody knows that Alex Ray is gone if he's not in the peloton. But, you know, you get him tucked into these shadows and he's up the road by 5 or 10 seconds. You know, it might add a little bit of intrigue to our race, a little more than we have already, so to speak, as we've seen that Dan Holloway and Alex Ray won really, really strong on this race. Again, we want to thank Heritage Trust, our good friends from Bank of Walterboro, Palmetto Rural Cooperative. Pretty soon we're going to be closing in on 10 to go. We're striking at 14 laps left to go, and we're going to do, I guess, our yearly raffle here in Walterboro. Are we raffling a bike this year or TV? What are we doing? 32-inch TV. Am I pulling this out?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Won't fill out.
We got to put that one back in there and shake it all up. We're going to do a preem on the next lap, guys. Cash preem on the next lap. Cash preem, $100 cash preem. $100 cash preem. All right, we're going to offer two things at one time, a preem and then a TV, a 32-inch. Ready?
Yes.
All right, so the winner is, let me put on my, what? Fergie. Fergie won. Nice. You just won yourself a TV. And I hope that's your husband.
Thank you.
So Fergie, congratulations. You just picked yourself up a 32-inch TV and a kiss for winning the TV. So, hey, come to a bike race, you win stuff. What more could you want? The uniqueness of the Walterboro race course is the shadows. The shadows play tricks on your mind, and here's why. You're flying down the backside of the race course. You have a static light such as a street light or a light that's shining down on the course. When you go by the light, your shadow actually follows and then kind of passes you as you do it. So you get this feeling that a rider is coming up on your left or your right, but actually it's your shadow. So you're always playing this kind of twilight. Guys, when you got riders in the pits, stay to your left. And it looks like that was Josvani Falcone grabbing that. Yep. So Josvani Falcone, the governor, we call him, out of South Florida, from Cuba, lives in South Florida now. So racing for Stradale, he grabs himself the cash. Compliments on our good friends from Palmetto Rural Telephone. And we're going to, according to Meg, we're going to go back to back. But again, the shadows play tricks on your mind, so you can't tell whether it's a rider coming up on your left or your shadow coming up on your left. So it gives you this hyper sense of, I don't know, I don't want to call it insecurity, but you don't really know that feeling. You never really get comfortable on a course that is at twilight sometimes. Again, heritagetrust.org. Thank you very much for being a part of our race. Bank of Walterboro, Colleton. And 13 laps left to go. Maybe this is the lucky 13. Maybe somebody can slip away here. Is it Frank Travieso's guess? Is it Alexander Ray's guess? Or is it Dan Holloway? Dan said we just want to win either way. Frank thought there might be a breakaway, and Alex Ray was a bit kind of indifferent. You just said, hey, we just want to win too. So that's all right, we're doing another preem, $100 cash preem. $100 cash preem, $100 cash preem. $100 cash preem as Jacob Kaufman is on the attack again. Wow, so we've had a very friendly person here in Walterboro who just kind of wanted to remain anonymous. I asked who his name was, and he said, from me. So this next preem is from me, but not me. From me. $200 cash. So, wow, so thanks a lot from me. A $200 cash preem. Man, thank you very much, Walterboro. We're going to go back to back to back. The last one was $100, and from me is another $200 preem. But it's not from me, literally. It's from the gentleman that walked up and said, let it ride. I said, all right, got you covered. So it's a $250 preem. Or excuse me, a $200 cash preem. I ought to add a little fireworks to this bad boy. Remember, if you race for a professional cycling team or an elite amateur team, if you come across the line and you get the $200, you don't keep it unless you want to get in a fight with your teammates. What they'll do is they'll put all the money that they've won in the kitty, and they'll split it up at the end of the night, but in this case, they might split it at the end of the series. And if riders are coming and going, then they get a cut of it as you move down the 5 races. So we've done $100 cash preem compliments of USA Crits, and we're going to do a $200 cash preem compliments of me. All right, $200 cash preem. $200 cash preem. $200 cash preem for the winner of the next lap. $200 cash preem, $200. And by the way, guess who just got that? Alex Ray. He's a shadow. He's a black mamba. So Alex Ray has raised $500 for the Hincapi Devo Fund. Goodness gracious. So the shadow has got himself another Let's see if he's got enough to go again. And the question begs itself, if he keeps going after all these preems and sprinting for him, because he is making these guys work. Or they're making them work for the cash. Tell you what, question is, how much will you have left over to sprint? $11 laps, so we're just about at 21 minutes left of racing to go. And if a breakaway is going to go, it's going to have to eject it at some time, jettison. Not much time left to play around if you are figuring you want to be in a breakaway tonight. And let's see who's going to get this cash this time. All right, it's Alder Martz this time for Hincapie Devo. He decides he's going to get it. So the Hincapie Devo guys have decided they're going to come in, walk away as much cash as possible. As Sam Booley for a giant on the road has said enough is enough. So you have Sam Booley for Giant on the road. Let's kind of refresh how this race series started. It started in Athens on Saturday night. Just a huge crowd there for some extremely, chaotic, crazy racing, fun, entertaining. Whatever words you want to use. And Dan Holloway won that, and then we headed on down the road just a little bit. We headed due west, or almost due southwest, towards Roswell, Georgia, or maybe more west, Roswell, Georgia, in a tree-lined, beautiful streets and great shops and restaurants and bars there. And Dan Holloway won that race, and now we've made our way down here for stop number 3. Of the USA Crit Speed Week Series. And we try to match the commentating with the vibe of the city. Saturday night was kind of maybe more of like a rock concert. Whereas today we've kind of backed off the throttle. Here they come right now. They've got 9 laps left to go. So now we start to see some action on the front. There's a sprint right now. And it's Garneau Quebecor has decided they're going to throw it in. That's rider number 87. So Garneau Quebecor for sure has decided they're going to have it happen to Jacob Kaufman, of course. That's his second or third effort on a preem. So Kaufman for Garneau Quebecor grabs the preem. But we've seen riders like Kaufman get off the front and try to go after the cash and try to get some separation. He has had, the breakaways have just had zero luck today. These guys are turning about 2 minutes and 10-second laps. And we have 8 laps left to go. Remember, the free lap rule expires with 5 laps left to go. So if you're a lucky person, nothing will happen to you between now and the next 2.5 laps. But if something happens, say, before the leaders see 8K left to go, in this case 5 laps left to go, you must be in the pits before the leaders come through the finish line, or else your day is done. The pits will not be closed, but your ability to be able to get the free lap will expire with 5 laps left to go. So we hope the race course stays extremely safe and nothing happens. But if something is going to happen, the unlucky riders that are involved will need to be in the pits before the leaders see 5 laps left to go. All right, guys, we're going to do a $100 cash premium on the next lap. $100 cash premium for the winner of the next lap. Compliments of our USA Crit Speed Week. $100, $100 premium, $100 premium. Remember, this is the oldest standing city in our, what was originally called the Heritage Series, and now it's part of the USA Crit Speed Week. It used to be Walterboro and Greenwood, that whole corridor, otherwise known as the Heritage Corridor. Well, there was a race series called the Heritage Series, and that was started by Rich Hincapie many years ago, and it transitioned into USA Crit Speed Week. And that was kind of the, I guess, the first steps or the precursor to the USA Crit Speed Week. And cities have come and go, but Walterboro has been the race that has been the mainstay. And now the front end, it's kind of like NASCAR. The front end race is the, what some people would say, the big race, probably more because of the crowd size, and the what we call the granddaddy race, which is the Athens Twilight. 35 years going. But I tell you what, Walterboro is definitely been a part of the Heritage and now the USA Crit Speed Week, because this is going on over 10 years. So with 7 laps left to go right now, we've got one rider on the flyer. That's Garneau Quebecor again deciding they're going to take matters into their own right. They have now taken over the most aggressive team with, oh, actually, you know what? That looked like Rafael Miron right there. Came out of the shadows when he went through the finish line. So Miron, tell you what, he has stayed within the reach of the top 10. We have not said many things about him. He is usually a very strategic racer. He's a good to excellent sprinter. Not somebody that can win from a field sprint, so to speak, but always keeps himself within the top 5 to 12. Well, Miron has decided he's going to take it on, and Rafael has been a part of the USA Crit Speed Week and Championship Series for many, many, many years. So he's got a great insight on how to race every single one of these races, whether it's Athens Twilight or Boise or Charlotte, or otherwise known as the Novant Health Criterium, Winston-Salem a couple weeks ago. So Miron knows the strategy that it takes to potentially slip up the road. This is the kind of guy that could take advantage of this. Knowledge, especially on a course like this, which the riders talk about it frequently. And Rafael Miron knows this race course. He's raced it many, many, many times. So is he a rider that could take advantage of it? We'll find out. All right, so I'm getting word that we're going to do a points premium on the next lap. We're also going to do $100 to the winner. So how do you become the USA Crit Speed Week champion? It's all about the points. You lead a lap, you get a point. We have offered 3 points premiums. This is the third one of 3. Points premium on the next lap, guys. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2. Points premium on the next lap. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2. Just to give you an idea right now in the points overall, of course, this has been tabulated at the beginning of the race. Holloway at the start of the day had 549. Travieso had 443. Alexander Ray had 4:22, but he's led many laps by getting those preems, and evidently we've... And at the time of Faribault and Cannavaro are tied, so to speak. So we're getting word crackling over the race radio that there has been a crash. And we have at least, and look, remember we talked about it about 3 laps ago that if there's going to be a crash, these guys need to be in the pit before the leader sees 5 laps left to go. Well, we talked about if these riders were going to crash, the time to do it is before the leader sees 5 left to go. So right now it looks like we have about 10 to 12 riders in the pit. They're going to get pushed in with no penalty. And that, my friends, was an unfortunate circumstance for these riders to get mixed up into a crash. But they're all going to get back in with no penalty. And I tell you what, it happened. Crashes happen. They're bad. And they are sometimes demoralizing, especially when the race ticks down to a little bit left to go. But these guys are going to have the ability to be able to jump back in with the free lap rule. All right, gentlemen, you have 5 laps left to go. No more free laps, 5 laps left to go. And Evan Murphy from CRCA Foundation grabbed that preem with 5 laps left to go. And this thing is setting up for a sprint. And let me give you guys a little bit that are sitting here watching us either here on the live stream or you're watching at the start-finish line. This course is long and it's not technical, so to speak. The biggest technical aspect of this race course is the final turn. We have seen years past the rider that if he could take that turn super hot, he has the ability to be able to hold off everyone and win the race from the last turn. And for all racers in the VIP area, we do have food and beverages for you guys. So that's a staple of the Walterboro Crit. These guys are going to get fed some good food in the VIP area after the race is all over. And stay tuned. We're going to do our podium presentation here in just a little bit. Women's overall, men's, and men's overall, along with the laps leader and under 25. And again, you've got to think to yourself, breakaways were destined to get away if they were going to get away at least mid-race. And the reason why I say that is because that's what's happened in the past. This course, it's really hard to get out of sight and out of mind, as Dan Holloway talked about earlier when we did a pre-race interview with him during the women's race. So if you're going to do it, you got to get an opportunity to be able to get some time, to be able to get some separation. Hey, gentlemen, you've got 4 to go, 4 to go, 4 to go. 4 laps left to go as Alder Marks and Chris Uberti from Hincapie Divino Stellis. They're the first 2 riders across the line. We've got 4 laps left to go. 4 laps left to go. 4 to go, 4 to go, 4 to go. So there's just about 3 laps and a quarter left to go in this, or at 3 laps and 3/4. And now the sprinters teams are starting to kind of trying to find their teammates. In the past, we haven't had any lead outs, and a lead out in the sport of professional bike racing is when 4 or 5 riders will, so to speak, work as for those of you who don't know, they're called domestiques or worker bees or whatever. So you'll have 5 riders, and the sprinters typically, if it's a smaller team, That'll be the 5th rider in that group. So you'll have Team A will have 5 riders, and the sprinter will be the 5th rider of Team A. In this case, maybe Athlete Octane or 706 Project. I mean, United Healthcare 706 Project, maybe for Frank Travieso. And we're going to offer up a $100, I think a $100 premium on this next lap with 3 laps left to go. There they are. They're taking turn number 4 here in Walterboro with 3 laps left to go. We're going to toss out some more cash from Heritage Trust, a $100 preem. $100 preem, $100 preem, $100 cash preem. 100, 100, 3 to go, 3 to go. 3 more laps left to go here. 3 to go, 3 to go, 3 to go, 3 to go. So we've got 3 laps left to go here in Walterboro, and this thing definitely sets up for a field sprint. And again, I keep going back to turn 4, the last turn here in Walterboro. You could have the perfectly executed lead-out train, and it can go all sideways. If the rider that's leading you out or trying to drive you to the finish line and drop you off cannot take that turn comfortably and safely with speed. You have been practicing that turn mentally if you're a sprinter for the past 37 laps. If you've done this race before, you know what it takes to negotiate that turn at speed. Right now, you better hope that the riders that are with you, that are there to deliver you, if you have a sprinter and a lead-out train, you better make darn sure that those guys are comfortable in front of you. Because as a sprinter, you hope that the person that's right in front of you, it's what we call the last guy in the lead-out train or the drop-off guy, that guy can sprint too. He is essentially probably the second best sprinter, sometimes even the best sprinter on the team. They are going to close in with 2 laps left to go, and we're going to give them a gambler preem. Just add fuel to the fire. And really, I think the person who's going to pick up the $250 in the gambler preem is going to be that one guy on the lead-out train that just happens to cross the line. Because when they come back through on that last lap, it is going to be single file. And I hope for the safety of the riders it will be. Gambler preem, guys. $250 gambler with 2 to go. $250 gambler with 2 laps left to go. $250 gambler preem with 2 laps left to go. So we talked about lead-out trains, and we weren't really getting lead-out trains this week at USA Crit Speed. We're getting maybe 1 or 2 riders there to deliver their sprinter. And I just saw David Quelly from United Healthcare, the 706 Project, the first rider in that group and 3rd rider in the lead. On the front end was Frank Travieso. So you had David Quelly from United Healthcare 706 Project. And then it looked like I couldn't really tell coming through the shadows who was second wheel, but I did see the figure of Frank Travieso from United Healthcare Project 706, the 3rd rider, through the finish line with 2 laps left to go. And if you're a sprinter, you want this last lap to be so fast. Speed, speed, speed is what sprinters like. Because A, nobody can attack you or attack your lead out or attack you or your team and try to get away because it's just too fast. And on top of that, it's just safer. Fast lead outs, and you'll notice in the Tour de France or any other major stage race or any single day race, and some of the biggest crits in America, the faster, the tighter, the safer the field sprint will be. Dan Holloway has come from the back stretches, and he has shown that he has just a blistering turn of speed, and it is single file right now on the back stretch. So when they come back through, when they cross the finish line, whoever crosses first is going to get the 250, but more importantly, here in Walterboro, these guys are only going to have 1 lap left to go. And Walterboro, here they come down the home stretch. Gentlemen, you have 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. 1 lap to go, 1 lap to go, 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. 1 lap left to go. One to go, one to go, one to go, one to go. One lap left to go as Garneau, Quebecor, and Estellas are the two teams fighting for the front. So you have Garneau, Quebecor, and you have Estellas. Garneau, Quebecor is in the red and black, very similar to CRCA Foundation. But they're in the red and black, and Estellas is in the gray and red. They've had some big wins. They won Winston-Salem with Breck Donna, and of course, right now they're trying to pick off a big win here in Walterboro. Is it for Stephen Hyde potentially? I mean, he's sitting pretty high in the overall. We're going to find out because right now, the highest place rider for Estellas does appear to be Stephen Hyde in 9th place overall. So I think they would be extremely happy in the Estellas camp if they picked off the win. But again, you've got to look for somebody like a Frank Travieso, who's shown that he is in really good form. Alex Ray, Dan Holloway. We should see that pace car any second, and they are just screaming down the backstretch. Just popped out of the shadows there. Watch that last turn down there. Remember, we've talked about it. You have got to have stones to make it through that thing with speed. Here comes your moto. And you should see those guys. There they come out on the turn. One rider had about 1.5 meters to 2 meters. We said the first rider on the turn could win this race. Your champion is going to be back to back to back, Dan Holloway. First out of the turn, first to the finish line. Again, back to back to back. Dan Holloway is on some ridiculous form here at USA Crit Speed Week. God. Dan Holloway. 2 words. That's all you need to say for Speed Week. It's turning into the Tina Pick and Dan Holloway show here in Speed Week, which is just never in Speed Week have we ever had 2 riders win the first 3 races. It's always been, I don't know if we've had anybody win back-to-back races in USA Crit Speed Week. So Tina, back-to-back-to-back, and now Dan Holloway, back-to-back-to-back. So we talked about who the riders we thought might pull off the win, and Dan Holloway unofficially is going to be your Walterboro Criterium champion. We're going to do the podium presentation, a quick interview with Dan, and then we will do the awards presentation for both the men and the women. All right, Dan Holloway is actually beat me to the punch. He was waiting for me. Good luck, Dan. All right, so we are here with Dan Holloway, your 2014 Walterboro Criterium champion. And Dan, I mean, let me move over and get away. Let's try to get away from the sound. I apologize. A little feedback. So you won on Saturday night, you won on Sunday afternoon, and here you are winning tonight in Walterboro. I mean, how does it feel to go back to back to back in USA Crit Speed Week?
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's not.
I'm trying to find a sweet spot here. Come on over here a little bit. Follow me.
It's not what we expected, but we hoped for, at Athlete Octane here. And it's just great to go for 3, and, we just keep growing the snowball, like I said in the very beginning, and we're going to keep doing that. Tonight was really fast. I think maybe as fast as Athens was on a course this large, and no breakaways would stick. You saw guys trying all night long, and it's just a really fast course for something to stick. So about 15 to go, I told the team it's going to be a field sprint. let's start setting up for that. And I got really lucky that I got a flat with 6 to go, and was able to come in the pits, get her free lap, and continue to race. So
you were actually involved in that dust up on the course. So you actually you were one of those riders that were in the pit with 6 to go.
Yeah, I was. I just flatted. I hit a big crack back there, and the rear wheel went, and just rolled into the pit. Got a very fast, smooth exchange from Jose in the SRAM neutral, and was able to get back in time.
Well, 2 more questions before I let you go and before the podium. What's the mindset of a racer that's won back-to-back-to-back and he finds himself in the pit with 6 laps left to go? Do you have a set of nerves, or you just tell yourself, calm down, my team's here, and I can fight back to the front and win this race?
Yeah, you always got to stay in control. You can never panic, and just relax as much as possible. Know you got a good team around you. Know that the pit service is really good here, and it's in a positive way. It's a way to collect your breath before the chaotic final 5 laps.
Well, there you have it. Your back-to-back winner, racing for Athlete Octane, Dan Holloway. Congratulations on winning here in Walterboro.
Thank you so much, Chad. Thank you, Walterboro, for coming out and watching.
There you have it. So Dan's going to get ready for the podium presentation. Thank you very much for the interview. And we're going to do the women's podium here in just a second. We're now ready for our podium presentation in our women's race. I think we have our... Apologies for the feedback. All right, so we're going to do our podium presentation with Mayor Bill Young as the presenter. All right, so we're now ready for our podium presentation here in Walterboro. We are now ready. Ladies and gentlemen, in 3rd place in our women's pro race here in Walterboro, racing for Team Tibco, Kendall Ryan. And there's the mayor to present. In 2nd place, racing for Team Tibco to the top, Sam Schneider. And your winner today, racing for Fearless Film, back-to-back-to-back, Tina Pick. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your top 3, Kendall Ryan and Sam Schneider, Team Tibco, in 2nd and 3rd, and your winner today, Tina Pick, Fearless Femme. Thank you, ladies. Great podium there, and just a fantastic women's race. All right, bike reg lap leader is going to be Laura Jorgensen. Is Laura here? There she is. Hop on up there, Laura. This is our lap. She has led the most laps, which means she's had her nose in the wind for pretty much the majority of the 3 races. Mellow Mushroom presented by Pink Siren Sports. It's going to be Laura Jorgensen. Congratulations, Laura. And here are your top, actually our Max's best young rider is going to be Sam Schneider. There's Sam. So Sam right now is our U25 or under 25 best young rider, racing for Team Tibco. And here is your top 3 overall. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 stops, here in Walterboro, in 3rd place overall, racing for Pepper Palace, Christy Keeley. In second place overall, racing for Tipco to the top, Sam Schneider. And your current overall leader, racing for Fearless Femme, Tina Pick. Once again, ladies, your top three. Ladies and gentlemen, your top three. Christy Keeley, Pepper Palace, Tina Pick. There we go. Sam Schneider for Team Tipco and Tina Pick, your current overall leader after 3 stops, racing for Fearless Femme. Thank you, ladies, and we're tallying the men's results right now as we speak. I know. We're having to do fast math here, so we apologize. Give us just a second. And it looks like I think the overall will probably stay about the same because Holloway was first, Travieso was second. I'll be curious to see who makes their way into third spot. Just as a reminder, all racers, the VIP area, it does have food and beverage for you guys. Head on over across the street and to the left. We're now ready for our podium presentation in our men's race. In third place, racing for Encycle Predator, ladies and gentlemen, Ricardo Escuela. Otherwise known as Ricky. There's Ricardo. In second place, racing for United Healthcare, Project 706, Frank Travieso. And your winner, and back to back to back, ladies and gentlemen, racing for Athlete Octane, Dan Holloway. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your top three. Ricardo Escuela in third for Encycle Predator. United Healthcare Project 706, Frank Travieso, and your winner today, racing for Athlete Octane, Dan Holloway. Thank you, gentlemen. And now our under 25 overall leader is going to be Alexander Ray. If Alex Ray is here, I'm not sure if he's here. Your current top 3 overall, ladies and gentlemen, racing for Athlete Octane, Anthony Cannavare. 3rd place overall. Got to do a little work now. Got to get up on the podium, huh? In 2nd place overall, racing for United Healthcare, the 706 Project, Frank Travieso. And your current leader, racing for Athlete Octane, Dan Holloway. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 after 3 stops. Anthony Cannavare, Athlete Octane, Frank Travieso, United Healthcare, 706 Project, and your overall leader for Athlete Octane, Dan Holloway. Awesome racing, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to the town of Walterboro for hosting stop number 3 on Hump Day. And my name is Chad Andrews. For the rest of our crew, we hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you guys in 2015.